human body wakes up from 6 and it goes back into its archives to look at what they processed last night before you went to bed. Are there any residues that are supposed to come up? It will sweep, it will mop, it will grease, it will clean and bring all the dirt out. So at 11, your body is ready to eat food.
Hi, Mariam.
Hi.
Welcome
Harrison.
to the ABC show.
Thank you very much.
It's been good having you. It's been over 12 years. I know we met back in UD years. We're not really friends, but I see you are doing amazing stuff, and I'm more than happy to have you as our guest on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so who is Mariam Abubakar?
Wow. Now I have to go deep within myself to share who I really am. I am the sixth of 7 siblings.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Sekendi, Takrady.
Okay.
I had my primary and my secondary school there. I think growing up, I loved everything about food.
Okay.
And my grandmother is the one who raised me. And she loved food and everything cooking herself. She had a family garden where she would pick her fresh vegetables from.
Okay.
She's the one who gave me my first cooking experience. And I remember it was a TZ. She was like, don't be too stiff behind it. Stay this way, that way. So growing up, I loved everything food. I led a group in class 4 cooking competition.
Whoa.
And we cooked wache and we won.
All right.
And class 5, we won again.
Okay.
I love music. I was a bit chatty. I loved talking.
Okay.
And I was also a bit of a tom girl. I was very active, playing around, jumping around, very friendly, and created friendship as well. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if...
I think that's good. We'll get to know more as we go along.
All right.
I know, on campus, I knew you for radio. Can you walk us back how your radio journey started? Because I know also you mentioned lightly that you paid your way through school through radio. So if you can take us through the journey.
Yes. I think growing up, those were the times that radio stations had started cropping up. And the whole of the Western region, we had only GBC, which was running. And then there was a new one that cropped up and became a sensation in the whole of Takrady. You know, when they are testing their transmission, it's just music. And that was Sky Radio.
Okay.
So my grandma had a small tape in the house, and I'll make sure that when I wake up, it is tuned to the new radio station. So I think that was when I started falling in love with hearing voices on the radio and identifying myself with it, that this is something I can easily do and enjoy. And I gave it a try.
Okay.
I remember one day I just walked to the radio station. I said, okay, hi, I'm looking for the manager. I said, okay, his name is Joe Enison. I went up and I said, my name is Mariama. I live a few blocks away and I've just completed SS. I'm waiting for my result to go back to uni and I'm looking for something to do at the radio station. He was like, okay, that's impressive. Our receptionist is not around, so you can start at the reception.
Wow.
And then I was there for some time. The person responsible for reading announcements, that's what we call LPMs.
Yeah, LPMs. Yeah.
Was not present. Okay. So he came down and was like, but you cry, you can do this. So this is it. Just I was a natural. So I sat, there was somebody in the studio to manage the console for
Console
me.
for you.
I read the announcement, and that was how I got a slot on air.
Wow.
So it started from Takrady Sky. When I'm on vacation from uni, I'll be there. And then when I'm in school, I get to work with GBC, radio station in Upper West region.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's how my love for radio started.
All right, that's impressive. I mean, the fact that you took an initiative right after secondary school, got a job, and that ended up paying for your tuition and university is
Exactly.
impressive. For me, I'm looking at how everybody out there, or the younger ones coming who are finishing school, can't take that initiative, I mean, for themselves. Even after uni, you find right now it's a bit easy for you to apply for jobs online. I always say that it's easier to have applications coming in online, but to have someone walk into your space with an application, even when you don't have a job, you are forced to say, okay, I don't have one readily available, but look elsewhere. Were you encouraged at home to do that, or you just stood up and said, okay, I needed to make use of my time?
I wasn't encouraged from home, but the environment I grew up from taught me how to be self-motivated.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was coming from a background where there wasn't much education, but I totally fell in love with learning, reading books, anything I lay my hands on, I read. So I knew that I had to pursue transformation for myself.
Okay.
I wanted more out of what is available.
All right.
Yeah, so that had been my core, and it's always helps me to look at what next can I do for me. Yeah, so being very self-motivated is a foundation I developed, I think, when I was just about 10 or 11.
Okay.
So I started reading books. I'll go to the library to read books, and I pass it on to my younger sibling.
Okay.
So that was how I started developing my inner strength as an individual, and started questioning the environment around me, and then started looking at which path can I create
For yourself.
that will make me different from what is already available.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds impressive. I know you are in the food space. That also comes with a whole journey. Can you walk us through how you got into the space as well?
Okay, so way back in uni, I remember it was communication studies. As the lecturer was lecturing, I had drafted a business plan
Wow.
already, and I think I still have it in my email. I was raised by two influential women who were petty traders. So my grandmother and my mom. My grandmother had her own business. She would travel, bring maize, millet, and everybody in the community would buy from them. My mom was a seamstress herself. And when my grandma brings the maize, she will do house akuku in the morning, and then in the afternoon, her shop is opened for the sewing business. So I grew up looking at women who go out and come back and put food on the table.
Yeah.
And they are doing it by themselves, and make sure that there's shelter, and make sure that all of us are in school, and make sure that we are connected as a family, even in the business.
Okay.
So when grandma brings the maize, we have to bring it from the station to the house.
Yeah.
Before we turn it into the cocoa, we have to soak it. So every child had a responsibility. So I think some way, somehow, it made my brain very active. And in our house, we never bought food outside as kids.
Yeah.
So even if you give me money for school, I still bring it back. There was constant fresh meal in the house. So that was my love for food. That's where it started from.
Okay.
After uni, I got corporate experience for 3 to 4 years, and the environment became toxic for me. The culture on which they were building the business wasn't something that was healthy for me.
Okay.
And when I thought about exiting, I asked myself, Mariama, what's the next thing? What's your plan B? And I said, okay, food is what inspires me. Food is what gives me joy. I can be on my feet. I can do it for friends. If church is having any gathering, I'm there helping. So I want to try and turn it into a business. So that's where it started from. So I fully resigned and I started off. I think I started off with just the juices.
Okay.
Having the juices in large calabashes for weddings, decorate the table with kente.
Okay.
It was a thing way back in 2016, 2017. So I started from there. And one reverend friend of mine tasted my shooter and was like, wow, this is amazing. So I started with the shooter in addition and started building capital from there, then introduced the food as well. So if someone ordered for juices for weddings, I'll say, oh, I do pastries, I do this. And that's how we started slowly to move into the food space.
Okay. But you don't do, so I I run a restaurant. You don't do the kind of cooking that I do now. You cook for, to bring people back onto, well, I say the natural way in which they were created. So say if I had an issue with maybe weight, now you do food for people who probably have specific health needs that they need to correct with food. How did that journey also start? And I also buy so much. I can relate to your story because my mom also ran a chop bar at home, and that's how I got into food. So back in uni, I would cook for my roommates, came back, started a restaurant. That's how we all got into it. So I'm tempted to believe that for most of us who are entrepreneurs, majority of us had our parents doing petty trading, and we pick up these lessons and then build on them. However, different activities in our lives determine which channel or which angle we take the business to. And for your food journey, I'm sure that something changed the direction of the business.
Yes. With what I do now is quite different from what's on the market. So I design meal plans that are directed to solving a certain health need.
Okay.
And it had become my own journey and my own way of life at a certain stage in my life. I was having series of health challenges at that time. And in the middle of all that confusion, I was able to identify that there was no way I could stand a chance of survival if I don't take my own health into my hands and do something about it. And if I say that, my mind realized that whatever treatment I was on was not working.
Wow.
Because my body was just screaming excruciating pain. And I had conversations with the doctors. I started asking a lot of questions. I couldn't have the answers I was looking for. So I said, okay, I would rather do it this way, which I have heard that the human body on its own has a way of healing itself when you're able to give it the right empowerment it needs. I started off experimenting, and interestingly enough, we started seeing results after 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. We started seeing results after 6 months. My lymphatic system was able to clean me up. My liver was active then. And my brain had started responding. My BP was looking good. My BP was extremely low.
Wow.
Extremely low. Digestion and metabolism was very bad. But as I began the journey, and it's been 4 years, I have never looked back. And so I rebranded my food business.
Okay.
And now what I do is to support other people with meal plans that helps their body to heal.
Right.
So if someone is struggling with their weight, we have to look at it from the person's metabolism. So the human metabolism is just how the body signals itself when it receives food,
Yeah.
depending on what you're putting into the body, how the body digests, how the body absorbs the nutrient, how all the organs get their nourishment from what you've eaten, and how the residue of the meal leaves your body. The ones that are not supposed to stay, how do they leave? So you notice that with weight gain, most individuals have their metabolism very low. It's either the body is not able to digest
Process
well,
everything they eat.
nutrient absorption is very bad,
Okay.
which goes on to affect a lot of functions in the body. So with weight loss, we look at what the person is eating to begin with. What times are they eating it? And how is the food even cooked? And how they are eating it. So when we close in these gaps, the body finds the strength and then is able to manage the weight naturally for the person.
Okay.
And the person does not gain it back
Okay.
because we solve the problem from the core.
Okay.
But with the other weight loss programs, they induce the body. So they either find a very rapid way, but the body doesn't understand that kind of language.
Okay.
You're kind to your body, and the body gives you that same feedback back. So you go to the core. What are you eating at what times? And then you start putting in the right things the body needs. It takes it, it calms down, it works with it, and then you start seeing the result. And because you fix the problem internally, outwardly you start seeing the result.
Right.
And most people who have signed up for my weight loss programs do not gain it back
Right.
because you've empowered the body to recognize its natural way of operation.
Okay.
And as you eat, it absorbs, it brings the weight out, it keeps it within its normal levels.
All right.
Yes.
So, if say I got onto your weight loss journey, or started a journey with you to lose a few kgs, how long will it take me to see results? Do I need to just stick to diet? Do I need to add exercise, or you believe that just diet alone will be able to make the difference?
Okay. So my healing journey has taught me something. The human body is the most amazing thing that has happened to humanity. And I think we haven't even taken the time to discover how powerful the human body is. The weight loss journey for me takes 4 weeks. That's 1 month.
Okay.
So the first week, we put in things that helps the body to clean up.
Okay.
If you're putting on weight, it means there's a lot of toxin buildup in your body. So we do a cleanse. We give you, it's when you say a cleanse, most people think of weird stuff, food tasting terrible. No, not at
Right.
all.
Okay.
So they are normally teas you take early in the morning to support your body.
Okay.
The human body does its cleaning up between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m.
Okay.
So just as you wake up and brush your teeth, wash your face, iron your dress, plan your day, look at your to-do list, the human body wakes up from 6 and it goes back into its archives to look at what they processed last night before you went to bed. Are there any residues that are supposed to come up? It will sweep, it will mop, it will grease, it will clean and bring all the dirt out. So at 11, your body is ready to eat food.
All right.
So between 6 and 10, you're supposed to take something light and something clean and something gentle and something that supports and on your metabolism light. So if you eat wache or banku before 10, what just happens is that your body wakes up, is sweeping, is cleaning, is mopping. Then the signal comes, incoming, banku, wache. There's oil, there's protein, there's carbohydrates.
Everything in there.
They put the broom and the mop down and they concentrate on incoming. So what happens is that cleaning and toxin has built up. It's been pushed somewhere.
Okay.
They focus on digestion for that day. And as most people, we are eating throughout the day. After the wache, maybe some yogurt will come on top. Then maybe some fruit when you are sitting in the traffic. So the morning cleaning has ceased.
Okay.
So there is no detox for that day.
Okay.
Imagine if you treat your body like that for 6 months.
6 years. Some people do that their entire life.
Yes. So that is why when you are aging, you have the aches and pains and some of the body going off on people. Diabetes here and there, high blood cholesterol. But if you build the foundation that the body recognizes, it works perfectly for you.
You know, the reason I I reached out to you when we spoke the last time to be on the show was that my former boss, got stroke. He recovered. I mean, his diet and everything has changed. The last time I visited him, he cooked banku with millet. What else? There was oats in there. There's one thing else that I'm missing. That's what he cooked. The sauce that we used, no oil. Fish was grilled right there, and then it came with a lot of crab. And then he told me that he recovered because after the medication, he was put on a diet, and he stuck to it. And if you see him today, if you are told that he ever suffered stroke, you won't believe it. So also I know Joy has followed one of your patients before, or a client of yours before, and I've seen what you've been able to take them through. Does age play a role? If you want to be anybody wants to be on a journey with you, wants to achieve any health goal or any personal development goal through food, does age determine what kind of journey you take, how long it'll take you to see effect? Because say it takes you about 4 weeks to start losing weight. So for someone who is weighing over 100 kg, 150, 140, are you going to see changes in just 4 weeks for everybody, or there are factors that determine how fast or how soon you see changes?
Yes, depending on how long the person has been on an unhealthy journey, age also plays a role. I think if you haven't had a good eating habit or lifestyle, your metabolism and your immune system starts declining, I think, after 40.
Oh.
mid 30s to 40, your immune system is not as robust as it was when you were 25. So you could eat some things and get away with it 25.
Okay.
So age plays an important role in the healing journey, and it depends on how off the body has also gone. But in a month, whatever happens, there will be some form of restoration.
Okay.
So what happens beautifully on the journey is, after the 1 week of detox, you will notice that there's an hormone called melatonin, and that is the hormone responsible for sleep.
Okay.
So as we're going about, the sun is up, when it's getting dark, the brain signals the body. It releases that hormone into the bloodstream and signals everybody within us, the cells, and tells them, oh, it's getting dark, so time for, then you see that you go into the sleep mood. So the first 1 week, that is restored for most patients.
Okay.
And with the healing journey, food plays, let's say, 60%.
Okay.
And then sleep does the 40%.
Wow.
The body is able to clean you up, to restore you. So let's say you had a stressful day, you were having headache, body ache, someone upset you, you are angry at something. When you sleep and wake up, you don't feel the same way you felt yesterday about what somebody said. So the nervous system calms down on that information that is running in your neural pathways to the brain. So you notice that you were upset with me yesterday, but tomorrow you could have handled the conversation better because you are calm. And it's the body soothing you up in your sleep. So after the diet, the client starts getting good sleep the first week. That's where the healing begins. That's where the body picks the nutrients. That's where the nerves communicate with the brain. That's when all the repair works are done. I read something about our nervous system. So the central nervous system looks like electricity wire.
Okay.
So it has this black thing that protects it. You see, if you touch the wire, you won't get the shock. But if this thing the rubber, so the nerves have those covering. But as you go through life, stress, sickness, unhealthy diet, those rubbers eat themselves off, depending on how hard you've gone through life. But the good thing is, when you change your diet, they are able to regrow back. And even the cells in our bodies, with most of the recovery programs I do, so we have an intensive anti-inflammatory diet. And what that does is, you have an autoimmune condition, or let's just say your body is fighting cancer. You can still go with your treatment, but that diet empowers your cells. And even when followed rigorously, generates new cells. And the new cells will forget that there was this sickness. There won't be a mutation of the condition, and the old cells will die off. So it's progressive. The first week you get sleep, then the healing starts. Then the second week, the body is able to start working on its metabolism, how it absorbs nutrients. And during research, the cells get so excited because they are getting everything they need to work with. And then the person living in that body starts feeling the wellness effect. So you can have extreme migraine, headache, palpitations, that's heart rate going up. Some people go as far as having terrible dreams. You see elderly people who are scared to go to sleep. It's the nerves. Once it's able to regenerate those covering, because at that point, the neural pathways are blocked. So information is not able to move and get to the brain. It gets distorted. So you will find someone very pleasant, sweet, then behavior-wise, they are changing towards you.
Okay.
They're becoming aggressive. They can't hold great conversations.
And then,
Diet really helps.
all right. So, I mean, I personally on my journey combining exercise, but then when you mentioned watching and the body cleaning itself between 6 to 10 or 11 to 10, I know how guilty I am. I'm so guilty that, I mean, this morning my son chose wache over a regular breakfast. I mean, he is young, but for me, usually it's wache, something heavy in the morning for me. I will do fruits once in a while. But also you realize that the part where we find ourselves in, I mean, in this economy, where you're managing the little resource that is available to you, you want to eat heavy to start a day and then get something a bit maybe light and that you can take that, or people eat once because of the kind of work they do. So let's say I come into the office, I drive into the office, I sit in and I'm doing heavy meal in the morning. I'll do maybe light in the afternoon and do fruits in the evening. Again, someone who does construction work, goes to site, needs that energy to work. Is the effect the same for all of us?
Someone having a tedious task will need more carbs and then more protein to be able to be effective at their work. But it still depends on how the person is eating. So you can still have the construction worker can still have the bowl of banku, but make sure that there's a larger portion of veggie for good fiber. So you are eating to maintain your wellness. But if you're eating to fill up, you're depriving the body also from a lot of vital nutrients. So banku with pepper and fish. Then in the evening, the economy is hard, so the kokwente joint with nkatinkwai with salmon fish. Yes, the body can run with it, but has it gotten everything it needs for the day?
Okay.
Yeah. So early in the morning, Hausa cocoa with kose, some protein on the side with granite is a good way for most of us to start our days.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, if you are going for fufu, you can have your fufu with the goat's meat, but mostly you would want to have some veggies on the side. And the thing is, if you're eating, you start with the veggies first.
It will block a lot of space.
That's it. You start with the veggies first. It helps aid digestion.
Okay.
It greases your intestines and gives it the right fluids for digestion.
Right.
So everything else that is coming in is lubricated, and that also gives you free bowel movement in the mornings when you need to visit the washroom.
Right.
Most people have constipation because there isn't good fiber running in their body. So the economy is hard. Is really hard. A lot of people can't even afford the 3-day meal a day. But when we're eating, I think we need to start having the conversation of being mindful of what we are putting into our body. Yes, you can still eat your kokonte, you can still eat your fufu. On my diet plan, I've just turned the same things we were oriented with in childhood. So I give my clients wache, I give them fufu, I give them banku, but then it's millet banku.
Okay.
I'll give you fufu, but it's a lot of plantain.
Okay.
And you have larger portions of good fiber, vegetables. And then the soups, we prepare the soups in such a way that most Ghanaian soups stays long on fire and then loses all the vital nutrients.
Yeah.
So we call our soups broth.
Okay.
So you are drinking light soup, you are drinking palm nut soup, you are drinking nkatinkwai, but it's being served to you in a way that your body gains a lot of
The nutrient.
nutrients from it.
Yeah.
So what we do is we introduce bone marrow. So we buy a lot of the bone marrows. We extract a lot of, we let it cook slow heat to get a lot of the nutrients in it before we base it with our soups. And then we incorporate a lot of vegetables. We don't use tomato puree.
Okay.
During our research, we noticed that tomato puree has only 20% element of pure tomatoes. The rest are additives that thickens it up. And the human body is not supposed to come into contact with these thickness and preservatives. Your body gets confused. It doesn't know where to go. Then it goes to sit in the tissue. It goes to disturb your cells from getting the right signals and communication going on, your cognitive functions going on into your body. So we make sure that your soup does not come into contact with all these things. We use only natural spices to season it. So you still eat fufu and they lose weight in 4 weeks.
Wow.
All my clients still eat fufu once a week. So how it is being prepared, when it is being served, and how it is eaten is what causes the problems that we face health-wise.
I mean, one thing I just hit is when it is being served. So on my journey, I do fruits in the evening. I realize that anytime I take banana in the evening, I bloat. So decided to try it in the morning. I realized that it's a bit different. So now I don't do banana in the evening. The timing for the food is also a key factor. For someone on a low budget or a middle income earner, a lower income earner, trying to get on a journey like me, lose a few kgs, what do we eat when? I want to have my wache. Should I eat the wache after 10? Should I eat the wache before 10? Can I eat the wache as lunch? Most wache sellers are done selling wache by 12. The proper wache sellers are done selling, unless there are people who sell wache at night. I don't go in for that. What would you recommend for someone with a low budget who wants to find their own small way to stay healthy or lose a few kg?
Okay. With a low budget, in the mornings, you can start off with Hausa cocoa. You can start off with Hausa cocoa and kose. Have your granite on the side. That is a good start for the morning. From 11 to 12, you can still do your fufu or your banku. The only problem is that the plantain should be a bit more to keep it balanced.
If it's fufu? If
it's fufu. And if you can opt for some veggies on the side, it's even better. So what we do is, my mom used to, when she does her benkwai or light soup when we're growing up, there's mushroom in it. So oyster mushrooms these days is being harvested. I think a kilo is 45. And there's 20 cedis, so mushroom. And then she'll cut cabbage into chunks.
Yeah, I
into
remember
the
that.
soup.
Yeah.
So you have that, and your body gets some support from what you're eating. And then if you get your watermelon, these days they cut and sell 5 cedis, 3 cedis. Early mornings you can grab a watermelon on your way. I see them even in traffics, ready-made. There's pawpaw, I think there's 5 cedis. You can start off like that. I think just about a week, I sat in a taxi. It was as early as 7. And the man called soya kebab in traffic. Soya kebab is a healthy plant-based protein. He's a taxi driver. That's how he's starting his day. And that's what he's going to have for his morning. So I had a conversation with him. Yes, you will go have your day and come, but your body will jack you up at some point because you are not building the right foundation. 7 a.m., yes, hustling mood activated. Watermelon in traffic is okay. Pawpaw, these days the women wear gloves. I see them wear gloves
I
and package it. I see them even have it in a container, white container packed with tissue, and that's a good way to start your morning. Then you can have the wache.
okay.
And the wache, you buy your greens on the side as well. And you start off with your greens, you eat your protein, then you eat your wache, and you're good to go.
I like the fruit idea. My only concern is being someone who works in the wash space. I don't know where they're getting their water from towards their fruit. So it's one thing that I never ever do buy fruit on the street.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are getting their source of water from. When you also mentioned vegetables, I remember we went for a workshop out of Ghana. It was in Nigeria. And usually, in a proper restaurant, they serve vegetables first. And here we are, table filled with different types of vegetables, salads, different types, toppings, different. We didn't know what was going to come next. As Ghanaian, as black as we are, we ate. We thought that was all we had to eat. Filled our bellies with done, and then now they bring proper food.
Oh
and
my God.
everybody goes hungry. You're like, what? You bring all these vegetables before the meal. So I get that. Even where the meal is served together with a vegetable, some people still do the vegetable after the usual heavy meal. So that's something that I think that we need to really hammer on how we eat.
So one thing I even discovered is someone who is diabetic.
Okay.
I've got a few aunties, my mom, a few family members who are diabetic. When you eat a certain kind of way, your glucose does not spike.
Okay.
So on your plate, you start off with your veggies first. And then you can eat your carbs and your protein.
Okay.
And your sugar levels are normal for the whole day.
That's good information. For kids, my children will not eat anything vegetable unless you are playing with it. You're either blending it, they don't see it. Once they see it, they take it out. How can mothers, because I realize that in the rural areas, they have a lot of leafy vegetables available to them. They have fruits available to them. They probably just don't feed it the right way. How do we bring our children along this journey even before they get to state like mine, where you have to now pay, find a trainer, be on a diet, be on a weight loss journey where you have to pay to lose weight after you've paid to gain it?
I think with kids, we would have to start incorporating when we are transitioning them. So these are young infants and we are orienting them. They have zero ideas. So when you're transitioning them from breast milk to solid food, and I've had a few clients that I worked with and it stays with them. So what you begin with them is what they know. There are a few, there's a family I got close to. Grandpa has his meal served with a lot of veggies. And there's a young baby, I think 2 years. Sadiq comes and eats the veggies. And it started from transitioning.
Okay.
So most parents would have to start adding stories telling to the food and even have exciting bowls. So exciting fruit, vegetable bowls, colorful bowls, an apple bowl, and then you put an apple cut in it for transitioning a baby. So just as you start give them the cocoa, the Cerelac, you make sure that they have the veggies tossed nicely on their table. And most kids transition so well.
Okay.
And they become very oriented to it in their adulthood and they don't struggle.
No.
But there are still some toddlers that struggle. So I've seen a mother who would start her baby off. I think the story she told me was the first son, she would let him eat everything else he wants, the Cerelac, and then tried the veggies and the fruit as snacks, and it didn't work because he has picked the taste already,
Yeah.
the protein and everything, and he had the chance to choose. So with the second son, she would blend the carrot and scoop it for the child to finish eating the veggie before she gives the child the Cerelac or
Whatever.
any other meal on the table. And then when he was able to feed himself, she will have a portion of cabbage, cut tomatoes, colorful on a tomato plate or apple plate, and then add the stories, and then add the singing, and then add
whole
all
lot
the
of work.
plates to it. So we transition them into it, and they become a part of it. And sometimes even allowing them to be a part of washing the fruit, that's the time they're becoming very active.
All right. All
And then
right.
you tell them, if you take this pineapple, your bone will be strong like that of daddy.
Okay.
It stays in their mind.
All right.
Yeah.
So on this journey, I've had different people share different stories. So someone comes along, uses supplements, use this. For me, I grew up having a garden and all that. So I always tell myself, why do I go for vitamin C when I could always I have an orange tree at home, just go plug an orange, eat as much as I want. What is your experience with supplements? Is it something that we should pay attention to, or you think that we can find all we need, the right amount of nutrients we need in the fruits and vegetables, or what we eat, in everything that we eat around us?
This is a very broad conversation, and it needs to be looked at from different angles.
Okay.
The human body was designed to find its nutrition from food, natural food from the soil, the plants. That's what the human body actually recognizes. But the supplies we use for cultivating most of our food produce and even maintaining the land for planting has over time reduced the nutritional value
Value in the
of
food.
most of the things we are eating. So one can be eaten but get very minimal source of minerals and vitamins from what they are feeding from.
Okay.
So that is a conversation that needs to be looked at. But as supplements good, based on my personal journey, yes, it is good, and no, it cannot also be good in some cases. So when I was looking for alternatives to heal with food, I started supplementing because my body had run out on a lot of nutrients. So when we ran the labs, I didn't have magnesium, I didn't have B12. And B12 is responsible for brain works, decision making, processing information, storing data.
Yeah.
So it means I had lost a few brain cells.
Okay.
And then at that point, when I got the supplement and I took them, my body would just not agree with it, because those ones disturb the signaling and the communication that goes on into your body. At that stage, that is not what the body needs for the healing.
Okay.
Yeah. So supplement, I had to depend on just the food I eat for some level of supplement. And then when my body was able to heal at some point, I could introduce some of the supplement. But this is the trick. So there are some natural industries that have invested in creating supplements that are closer to the natural supplements that the body is used to.
Okay.
If I can mention a few brands, we have Nature's Path, Nature's Way. They're quite expensive. I think for 50 capsules or jellies of these supplements should be like 350, 400 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And these are foreign imported brands. They are not manufactured or produced in Ghana. So if I take the normal vitamin C, my body will jack me up.
Okay.
But if I take those naturally, they use fruit extracts to do them,
Yeah.
to make it friendly to the human body, my body works with it.
Okay.
So if you're supplementing, you want to know the source of the supplement.
Okay.
It can disturb your endocrine system. It can disturb the way your body communicates. And with a few of the clients that I have worked with whose health have been challenged, I have identified one particular supplement that most of them have come into contact with, including myself.
Okay.
And I think it might have a role to play in pushing people's body to the extreme where they lose their endocrinology.
Okay.
So the hormone that signals the body for communication and all that, it becomes foreign. It becomes, what is really going on? Like, this is not supposed to be here. How are we supposed to manage this? So that confusion comes in.
Right.
With a lot of chronic health diseases like autoimmune, there are about 80 different types of autoimmune diseases in the world.
Okay.
And the supplements play a role. So
Right.
even when you are supplementing, I will advise that you dose on your food. If you need vitamin C, have as many oranges as you can.
Right.
It's not just oranges, but you can get it from green leafy plants, kontomire, abedro, agushi. You have your pawpaw, your watermelons, yellow melons. You get it from a lot of other places.
Okay.
But if it is necessary for you to supplement, make sure you're putting the right thing into your body. You might be looking for results, but you end up creating problems for yourself.
So growing up, I struggled a lot with cough. So I never went to the hospital until I came to UDS. And I remember my dad would always give me lime and honey. So my body got used to it. When I first started using cough mixtures, I would get sore throat. Recently, I had a bad cold, I had cough as well, and did some brand that my brother brought in from the US. It got worse. I got sore throat. So my idea of medication, I also struggle with migraines. And like I was telling you earlier on the side, that most of the painkillers don't work for me. So now I'm trying to find a way to deal with some of these things when they come up. For cold, for sore throat when it comes, I know what to do. So Percocet works for me when I boil Percocet and drink warm. It clears my sore throat, clears my cold. If I do lemon and honey, clears it. The kids are able to manage lemon and honey. Percocet, they don't like it. How do we use what we have around us to make sure that we at least we try, when we feel the symptoms of something coming up, try to deal with it, fight it with our body before we even rush to the pharmacy? Because now the least thing, everybody goes to the pharmacy. And the last time I listened to a report by BBC on antibiotics, even kids are resisting a lot of antibiotics. But a lot of antibiotics for adults are not working. One, because they take it, they won't complete the cycle, they leave it, it comes back, they go. So these are beginning to fail us. But I believe that from my own experience in using the things around me, I believe that there's a lot of things that we can cure when it comes up with just the herbs, fruits, and vegetables, everything around. How do we build that up?
That's the beauty of how the body is connected with food and the natural things around us. When I began the journey, and I saw the beauty of how our ancestors used to preserve their health. So something like rosemary is a spice in the kitchen. But if you have a chronic inflammation, that is, you're constantly getting sore throat, you're constantly unwell, you struggle to get out of bed, just a quarter teaspoon of rosemary with just half glass of water, 5 minutes on fire, low heat, and then you drink the juice. Actually calms the body down.
So rosemary comes in a leaf dry. So you
Yes,
mean the
that's a
powdered the
spice we
powdered
put in
form?
a stew. So
Okay.
our grandmothers knew why they were putting it in our
They share
stew.
jollof mu. They share jollof mu.
Yes, and something like bay leaf, like
Okay.
I am so surprised. Bay leaf we put in our stews and soups as
Okay.
natural spices.
Yeah.
And these days we are replacing these natural spices with a lot of things that rather causes pain to us. So bay leaf is an amazing anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Just wash 5 bay leaves, half glass of water, low heat, let it boil for like 2 minutes, and drink. Those are the things that I used to reverse my health. Something that was supposed to have killed me. I found grace in the natural things around, because during my research, most of the things were very foreign. If you eat something like black rice, there's a rice called black rice, and this is very foreign. Is good for people whose health is extreme. Cancer patients, autoimmune patients, is very low in calories. It has good fiber. It improves your energy levels if you're struggling. And when I got some to buy, when I Googled, there was only one shop in Laboni
Wow.
which had it. And it was just like the half margarine cup we have measuring our produce in the market. That's the content. And it was like 150. That was 2022.
Wow.
So I started looking out for other alternatives. And bay leaves, cloves, some people call it imprenguamba in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It looks like a small nail. You pick like 10 or 15, wash, put it in your tea or boil it. Add honey, add a bit of ginger, add lime. It's a pleasant detox. You will have amazing bowel movements that morning.
Oh.
It soothes your body up. It gives you good sleep. So we have all these natural things available to us. Prekese in Abenkwai. Prekese was part of my treatment as well. But everybody's body is different. So you start somebody off on Prekese, and their body is not ready for it. You withdraw, you reintroduce it. Something like turmeric.
Yeah.
Turmeric. Turmeric is an amazing anti-inflammatory. It calms the body down. It helps the body to heal internal wounds. It even helps the cells to regenerate themselves. It gives you that comfort. So with your migraine, you can start your mornings off with teas like this. Add a little drop of honey, add the lime, add a little bit of ginger. Ginger is a very good antibiotic.
Okay.
During my healing, I think for 2 years, I'll buy maybe half a lunka of ginger. I'll sit down and clean it myself calmly, wash it nicely, blend it, and then tie it up in banku rubber,
Different
small,
portions.
small. Pop it into the freezer. So when I do my bay leaf tea, I pick one and I put it in. I have never had any antibiotic going into my body for the past 4 years.
Wow.
I haven't even taken vitamin C. I have never taken paracetamol. And I haven't been to the hospital. I go for my regular checkups to see how my organs are faring, how my blood levels are. But every time we go, there's healing going on. And it's just these natural things. Abedro. I Googled and it's called
Turkey berry.
turkey berries.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You boil, if you're very sick, you would have to boil it over. The heat probably would take off some of the bad bacteria, and you blend it in your soups. I wasn't even blending it. If I'm cooking jollof, it's inside. I'm chewing it gra like that. If I'm doing abenkwai, abedro is popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
In my kitchen, abedro popping up everywhere. And that is what's helped my body to reproduce some red blood cells, to improve my blood levels, to even start with circulation in my body. So the natural things are available: ginger, garlic, rosemary, thyme. It's very beautiful when you go into the market of Nima. That's the hub of all spices.
Okay.
The star anise, they are just there. They're just there.
All
And
right.
these are healing to our bodies. I think even with our children, starting them off on some strong antibiotics affects their immunity.
Yeah.
These are young kids that are building their immune system. So the antibiotics, obviously the side effects are there. The immune system is still young. How does it clean up? And there are lots of these health challenges that become chronic in adulthood. They start as
From
children.
Yeah, that's true. Just to add that, I know that for turmeric, it's very easy to grow. It grows like ginger, so these are things that you can easily grow
I
at your
didn't even know
background.
about it until I went on the journey. I didn't know
Wow.
there was anything that looked like ginger. And for
Yeah.
most people, when I mention it, even my staff say, bring me turmeric. They're like, which one is it? I said, okay, this is turmeric.
Yeah.
Most people don't know
Yeah.
turmeric.
It grows easily like ginger. On your journey so far, and then with the business, what kind of clients have you dealt with? I mean, I've always used myself as an example, but let's move from people who want to lose weight. Have you dealt with any client who has been on, probably had stroke, that has recovered? What kind of conditions have you dealt with? And I mean, just give us a few spices, herbs that could be used in dealing with these things, so our audience could learn from a lot from you.
Okay, so I think the most challenging health condition I had to deal with was with a client who was 63 and has had diabetes for over 10 years,
Whoa.
which wasn't managed properly. And his BP was terrible as well. And in a few months, he had suffered stroke.
Whoa.
And in just about a few months, he had started declining, heading towards end stage kidney.
Wow.
So this is just one person who has about 4 or 5 health challenges. And normally, if someone is diabetic, it's quite challenging to support them with a diet. If you don't get them to work with you, it's either their sugar levels are going up, making it difficult for the body to heal. So I went, had a conversation with the family, and again, lack of education. His body had gone off, but he was still eating the wrong things. So I had to scrap a lot of things out and then introduced more healthy fiber. So in the morning, he likes to take Lipton tea with bread because he has diabetes, no sugar. But I learned when there's nobody at home, he adds sugar.
Even the bread is an issue.
Yes. And we introduced more healthy fiber. We took sodium out of his diet, so there was no salt. I limited him to just coconut oil. I took a lot of carbs away. I took fufu. I took banku off. I took yam off. So he could have a big bowl of cabbage with onions and garlic to start off his day. Yes.
Cabbage, onions, and garlic.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Fresh?
Tossed on fire. So
Okay.
when someone is facing these health challenges, their immune system is likely non-existent. So you want everything they eat to come into contact with heat to limit the number of bad bacteria that the immune system would have to deal with. So a big bowl of cabbage, garlic, onion to start his day off. In the afternoon, he can have light soup. So it's carrot light soup. And at that stage, the person cannot use the regular tomatoes we have on the market. You'd have to use cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
Cherry tomatoes is very low on acidity. At
Okay.
that level, the human body will be very acidic. So you want to introduce some alkaline into it to bring it some balance, then the healing can begin. So he would take his light soup with brown rice. And that was how he went. There's another healthy grain called fonio, there's quinoa. Those are healing low carb diets that somebody can be on. And we began the journey in a week. He could move his leg. In 2 weeks, he was walking with a stick, aided.
Wow.
In his third week, he used the stick unaided. And as I speak to you, he's walking.
Wow. Wow.
His BP levels are normal. His diabetes is good. The stroke is virtually gone. And we're still fixing to see how the kidney will respond. But his creatinine levels had gone down. It means we can slow the kidney down from declining.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So for someone who wants to prevent all these, so these are people who have already suffered a condition and are coming to get back to normal life. For those of us who are still young, strong, no stroke yet, no diabetes yet, what do we do? What can we do to ensure that we prevent these things from happening to us?
We should be mindful of what we are eating, where we are eating from. You can't eat from outside. Learn to cook from home. Make your meals very healthy. Stay away from artificial spices. Stay away from unhealthy oils. And increase the veggies you take in a day.
Okay.
So to be able to reverse a condition, the person has to take like 1 full cup. You know, that measuring cup is 8 ounces.
Okay.
In Ghana, let's just say 2 olonka of veggies.
2 olonka.
Sorry, 2 margarine
cups of
veggies a day. So in the morning, you can start off with just carrot, cucumber. In the evening, you do cabbage. So make sure that at least in a week, you are being mindful that I need to put this in my body. I need to put this in my body. And it's not just the food. The body creams we are using, the salons we're visiting, the sprays we're spraying onto our body. The skin is an organ. So for the past 4 years, I had to treat my skin to our local shea butter. So in healing and wellness, it's not just the food.
Okay.
You would want to also be mindful of the chemicals you're introducing to your body, to the extent that even your laundry soaps and detergents, your cleaning agents, the sprays you're using to clean your louvers, all of them have chemicals that are not supposed to come into contact with the body. And with total healing and wellness, it's a 360. So you make sure that your mental health is well balanced, you're emotionally balanced as well. So it's not just about the food, but the most important thing is once you're eating the good things, your mental health improves.
Yeah.
Your emotional resilience also improves. So we can't go without healthy eating.
Okay.
Yeah. So as young people, we should be very interested in what we are eating on the daily. Have you had some fruit today? Have you had some veggies today? What carbs did you have? You can eat rice, but once in a while, eat brown rice. Most people don't like the texture and the taste, but there's a way you cook brown rice and it becomes very nice. You get coconut oil in your pan, add bay leaf, add rosemary, cut onions onto it. Wash the rice and put it in, add water, allow it to boil. It smells so good, you can even eat it raw without soup or stew. Or get the hard coconut, juice, blend, juice, get the milk instead of water. Boil the brown rice with the
Yeah, coconut
coconut milk.
milk.
Chop some onions on it. If you have coconut oil, you can top just a half a teaspoon on it. And brown rice is so pleasant. It's good fiber. It's what you need. Good fiber for the body any day.
All right.
So that would be my advice to us, the young people.
All right. So I know you were in UDS, and I know you didn't study nutrition. Was all this self-taught, or you had to go pay tuition to get to this point?
My journey has empowered me to be this knowledgeable in what I'm doing. And over the years, because my body has been my own teacher, I'm able to use the things that I found available to help. So it's self-taught,
Okay.
purely self-taught.
All right. That's good. So one thing I would add is that I know that when you have your own challenges and you want to deal with them, that energy is always available for you to teach yourself and find a solution to the problem. So most often than not, say that challenges always open doors for us to do new things. So most of us started business because we were broke. We want to move out of the situation of being broke, or you had to find your way to school because probably you needed to make some money after secondary school to go back to go to uni. So challenges in themselves open doors for us. However, there are a few people who are far more challenged than some of us are. I always say that if you travel to Afram Plains, and that's not to look down on Afram Plains, the areas in Ghana that when you travel to, when you come back to Ghana, or you come back to Accra, I should say, you appreciate how lucky you are to be in Accra. And I add that if you don't survive in Accra, you don't find anything to do to make money in Accra, I can bet you that if I take you to communities that I work in, you probably will die in a week, because some of the things you do here, no one will pay for them elsewhere. But these are people who also need to survive. They also have their own conditions. How does someone listening to us or watching us in a rural area where all these things are not available, they have their leafy, they have their green leaves, garden eggs, how do they also come in to use these things to make sure that they also end up living a healthy life?
Well, I think our rural areas are very empowered nutrition-wise. They have a lot of things that work for them. In a typical rural home, they normally would use the amani. So that's low cholesterol, and it's good protein. And you find them eating the millet TZ and the Hausa cocoa and the kose. And I did my national service in Bona Hafu region. It's very green, contomere, there's fresh plantain, there's I ate moringa soup
Well,
during national
in
service.
BA,
BA, and I fell in love with it. So in every house, there's moringa tree. And there's this lady colleague teacher of mine, whenever she does the moringa granite soup with fufu, oh my goodness. So these people, I think they are at more advantage than we are in Accra. Accra, life is very busy and fast, so everything is very calculative. You're tired, you want it this, so you grab and go. But these people eat from home every day. The rural areas, the grandparents, the mothers are cooking. The cassava is good from the farm.
okay.
Cocoyam is there, garden egg stew. So you will find them growing in strength. You will find that they're still strong. They wake up early, go to the farm, still carry the stuff. So I think they are at more advantage than those of us are in Accra. And there should be some form of good nutrition in most rural areas and balanced meals in most rural areas than there is here in Accra. Yeah.
All right. I agree. I agree totally. It's just how you
Though
prepare
they
it.
are deprived, most of them might not have the. I think during community service, we were put at. I was posted at. Oh my goodness, Wale Wale, in between Wale Wale and some community there. There was no vehicle. The water was very terrible. We couldn't even bath with it. So the coordinator will bring us water. And one day, one of the girls, I think she should be about 7 or 8, Hannah, she walks up to me. She had picked Indomie from our dustbin and was asking, Auntie, was this biscuit? And it broke my heart. Every child knows about Indomie in Accra, but they haven't seen it until we went there. So they get to eat more nutritious meals. There's alefi, there's ayoyo, there's shure. I grew up from a Muslim home, and those were the meals that we were used to. The greens, alefi, ayoyo, they are in our soups and stews every now and then. So I think they stand a better chance of having good nutrition than those of us are exposed to in Accra.
All right. I think also that these are available to us, but how we prepare them. So you in a rural area where there's no fridge, the soup is prepared. If it's for 2 days, it goes on fire twice, so all the nutrients. How do we prepare these things in a way that we ensure that the nutrients that we need in them, we don't end up cooking everything away? I remember we had an auntie who would cook the cabbage, steam the cabbage separately, strain it before it goes into the stew and stays for another 30 minutes. How do we ensure that there's cabbage in it, but it's not waste?
Yeah.
There's cabbage in the food, but not waste. How do I prepare vegetable stew so that it has all the nutrients that I need?
Yes. I think that's also another conversation that needs to be had. It's called nutrient retention. So in our kitchen, we are even mindful of the heat that we introduce to the food. So it has to be low heat mostly. Or if you're cooking a meal for a child or somebody who is looking to recover or somebody who's looking to live a healthy life, it should be low heat. Our food shouldn't stay on fire for too long. And because we are busy, most people would do their soups and stews for like 1 month in the fridge. It's not the best. Ideally, food should be fresh daily.
All right.
Food should be. You can prep your tomato puree. You can blend your peppers and keep them in the fridge a week or two. You can bottle your juices for your family a week or two, but it shouldn't go beyond that. Then the body will not find it any useful.
Right.
And with our vegetables and greens, it should be tossed. If you want to have veggies, you cut them all in a bowl. If you have your cabbage, onions are very good for building your immune system. Garlic is very good to build your immune system. Then every veggie you have, you should have that inside because they go to help together with your cabbage and carrots. And the thing is, your food should look colorful, but it should not also be a lot of things at a go.
Okay.
You might confuse your body as well. So cabbage, carrots, onion, garlic with a little bit of oil drop, with a little bit of salt to taste. You toss it on fire for like a minute or two. It's ready for you to eat with your rice. And if it's going into the soups and stews, as middle half cook, you put it inside. If it's going into jollof, don't put it as soon as you put the rice. Half cooked, then you introduce it so that it still has the nutrients that the body needs and the good fiber that the body needs.
All right. Now let's look at the business itself. How has the operation been so far? How long have you been in business? What does the future look like for you?
My journey with Simply Green has been exactly a year. And just as most startups go through, I had gone through my own health challenges, being bedridden for 3 years,
Wow.
um, lost everything. I lost my staff, couldn't wait for me to get back on my feet. I mean, they have life, they have families to feed. So everybody moved on whilst I concentrated on my healing. So coming back, startup capital was a challenge, but we started anyway. So I started with the juices, um, the detox teas, the juices, build up on capital. Then I started off with a meal plan as well. It's been an exciting journey. I wake up every day excited.
Okay.
Business wise, we have a team of nutritionists on board, um, that helps to support with the meal plans. And then we have the kitchen staff that coordinates with the nutritionist on daily. So depending on the number of clients we have with their needs, health needs, we are able to tailor the meals for the client.
Okay.
And we have two services. One where we cook everything from the kitchen and the dispatch picks it fresh every day to the customer from Monday to Sunday. So
Okay.
that is when we are dealing with extreme health conditions
Okay.
that we are looking to take results.
All right.
We handle it for at least 4 weeks, and then we integrate the client into maintaining the progress we've built on. When you're not well, you're not in control of a lot of things. So the brain behind us hand holding you for 1 month straight from the kitchen is to empower your body to be in a good place. When we start seeing the results, then we give you the hand holding coaching to maintain the progress that we've made.
Okay.
And then we have the hand holding coaching. There are some people who are okay, but they just want to eat healthy. So they sign up for weekly meal plans. So we tell you what you're likely to have Monday to Sunday in your house. And then we also introduce you to some of our organic farmers where you can get your supplies from.
Okay.
So you cook your own meal from home. Weekly, we change the meal until we start seeing results and recovery from the patients. Yeah.
Right.
So it's been exactly a year
Since you rebranded.
since I rebranded.
So
And I think is an exciting journey. It's been an exciting one with myself and my staff and my clients as well. I've got clients who have recovered and are still enjoying their health now and are still in touch every now and then. And we've got referral clients from these clients that we've worked with and they've seen results. And we are growing steadily.
all right.
Yeah.
When I came in and saw you, one thing I said was you haven't changed. It's been over 13 years. You really haven't changed. So probably should show us what is working for you. I mean, as you leave, what basic vegetables, herbs, fruits are working for you that is keeping you young.
Well, I think I've heard that a lot of times,
Okay.
that I haven't changed too much. And mostly when I tell people my age, I get them fighting me back to say, no, we can't believe that you look younger. One of the things that clean eating and healthy diet does is to preserve your body. So I didn't have any other option than to make good health and wellness my business for my personal self. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm not the exercising type. I think there's a side of me that goes like, I wish it's not something I have to do at some point in my life. So I start my day off with a cup of tea. So it's either I'm having chamomile tea, lemon balm tea, marigold tea, green tea. So I have about 10 different types of teas. And these are teas that are filled with minerals and vitamins and antioxidants. So what that does for me is it tells my body that, oh, you're awake and you're cleaning up. These are tools to support you to clean up. So the body finds some nutrients and vitamins to activate the cleaning process and make it more effective. So that's you being kind to your body in the morning.
Okay.
And having a good relationship with your body. And the body has receptors. They know when good things are coming and they stay calm. So between 6 and 7, I've had my cup of tea. Normally, I would add a drop of honey, a drop of blended ginger, and then a drop of lemon. And it's so soothing. It's so refreshing. Then we start off the day preparing for clients. I'm likely to have a blend of mango with ginger. That's mango smoothie after the tea. Or I can have pawpaw. Or I can blend banana with beetroot and ginger with flaxseed. So that's how I start my morning. And these are natural nutrients that overloads the body. So if the body is looking for anything to work with, it's available.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, I can have a portion of tossed veggie, either cabbage, this big green pepper, or bell's pepper, cabbage, cucumber, carrots with onion and garlic toast, or avocado and pear, and eat that. Then that should be like 9 and 10. Then between 11 and 2, I can have my millet banku, I can have my brown rice, I can eat my fufu, I can eat my kontomire with plantain. Then in the evening, I can do a cup of tea again, or a smoothie, or a juice.
All right. So we are wrapping up. If there's anything you want to tell our viewers out there in terms of, being on this health and wellness journey, what would it be? What should everybody look out for? Should they wait till the breakdown before they start, or now is the time to start?
I remember when we were growing up, my grandma used to say, you are what you eat in your old age. She was over 105.
Wow.
And all her teeth were intact. She passed away with all her teeth, not one even removed. When you leave her, she would do her own laundry. Her skin was glowing that morning. You won't even say she has passed away. Her hair was very silky and nice. Her nails were just intact. She bathed herself. She ate. And it never really occurred to me until she passed away. And truly, she was very mindful of what she was eating. And we all saw her do it. And until my health journey began and I started having relationships with the food that I ate, I didn't see the importance of that statement that you are what you eat in your old age. I was blessed, and I think a few family members were blessed to see how she grew gracefully before she passed away. And I've got aunties and other siblings younger, and they can't walk. They have health challenges. So we should be interested in the relationship we have with the food that we eat. At any point in time, if you're putting anything in your mouth, it is you issuing a command to your body like a computer So what you put in signals the body, and the body knows if it's a good thing, and the body knows if it's not good for it at that moment. And the most amazing thing about the human body is you will get the result. It might be slow, but you will get the result, either good or bad. So, for starters, why not? You don't want to grow up having joint aches and pains or people aiding you to do some basic things. It's very debilitating. And there has been results that when you eat well, health conditions like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's diseases, you can get away with these things at your old age if you start having good relationship with the food that you eat. So why not? Why not? So I think my final word, we should all be interested in the food conversation. We are exactly what we are eating. We are exactly what we are planting. So even starting from the soil we are cultivating and the pesticides we're using on the soil and the fruits and how it's being harvested and how it's being sold to us even in the market and how it is being prepared and how it is being served is a conversation that as humans we should be very interested in.
All right. Thank you, Mariama. I would say that from my end, add an exercise to if you can walk, run, or do anything to keep the body active. Add that to the food journey, and that'll make you, I'll say, a healthy human being. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We look forward to having you again in future. We also look forward to sharing the success story of all the people that you're able to help on the amazing journey, and wish you the very best in all your endeavors. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you too.